All right, folks, thank you so much for joining us today. This is Senior Vice President Cecil Caliste with Oxygen, CBD, and 5 Links. And we today are talking about a topic that everyone is excited about. What are they excited about? They're excited about being able to leverage and take advantage of social media to build their business. So maybe you've been thinking, you know what, I'd love to be able to find a way to be able to get some tricks and some tips to help me build and have success building my network marketing business on social media. So today I'm going to give you some hacks, some things that I found have been helpful for me and for others. And I'm actually re-recording. We did our national convention, our virtual national convention just recently, and folks loved the information. They wanted to have it, so I wanted to record it so that it was here, so you can leverage and use these different things we're going to talk about today to help you build your business online. So super excited about having you. If you like what you hear today, I want to ask you, do me a favor, help me out. Go ahead and subscribe to Cecil Caliste on my YouTube channel, or, give me a little like, give me some love, show a little like for what you're hearing, so you're able to position and help us and help others learn about it. And comment, also comment below, give some comments about what you're experiencing and how it's working for you and how it was able to help you as well. All right, so let's get right to the information. Enough about me talking. I want to thank all those that are on with me today. We're doing actually a Zoom, and I'm excited about having these individuals. They're going to be part of asking questions, and we're going to make it a little interactive, so they're all a part of this as well. So let's go right in, and let's go to my slides so you're able to have the information. So how to make social media work for you. And this is what's important about understanding what we're talking about today. Everyone is using social media. This is the new normal. I mean, no matter how you look at it, everyone is trying to find a way to be able to position themselves and take advantage of what social media can do to help you build your business. So what I want to do today is actually give you some basic principles and things that can help you get started to make sure you start off right. And then I want to give you some more information that I believe will be helpful to help you to be able to leverage and take advantage of what social media can do to help you have success. So first and foremost, let's begin with what honestly is the most important and basic part of what premise behind what social media does. And what I mean by that is simply this. It's really important for you to wrap your mind around the fact that for you to build and have success in social media, do not compare social media to other platforms. Make sure I clarify that, because a lot of times people are a little confused about what I mean by that. Please don't compare this to other platforms. This is not like other forms of media. It's not like television. It's not like radio. It's not like other things. See, all of those types of forms of media share information, and that's it. It's no reciprocation of information or knowledge. It's just a matter of information going one way. Social media is not that model. It's a paradigm shift. It's entirely different because the focus and the concept behind this is interaction, meaning that it's an exchange of information. It's not a matter of information just being sent. So the reason why, TV and radio, they just do ads and they advertise information and that works. This is different because what we're talking about here is that you're not actually doing ads or whatever, just advertising on social media. Your focus and your intent with this is actually going to be, I want you to think about this really important concept and premise: multiple exposures. Multiple exposures. Now, what do I mean by that? What you're doing is you're building rapport, building relationships, you're building, basically a path of sending information to people so they're able to consistently get information from you and become familiar with you, and building rapport, building a relationship, and that's the concept. So it's going to be the more that you have exposures or have folks, connect with you, interact with you, the more that you build trust, the more you build rapport. And so it's an entirely different philosophy or mindset. Whereas with television, the concept is I'm going to continually throw the same thing at you over and over again. And just by repetition, you will actually hear or see the information, and it will become commonplace to you. And as a result of repeatedly hearing the information on these other forms, that's how you become used to it. But with social media, the most effective means is to have multiple exposures where people connect with you in different ways, in different environments, like what you share, all the different information. You communicate with them on their posts, like what they do. And then as a result, that's how you build rapport and how you build connections. So the first thing I want you to understand is that for you to build and have success on social media is that you need to create your brand. Now, a lot of people, when they hear that, it's a concept that they've heard before, but they don't really get that philosophy. And I want to make sure I help you out with that, because what you need to understand is that you are your brand. And in social media, that's more important than it is anywhere else. Everything and every other environment, we talk about that. It's shared. It's a little cliche that people talk about. But in social media, it is vitally important that you understand this concept. Who are you? You've got to decide and figure out who you are, and who you are is vital for you to share and help people to understand as they're a part of and listening to, and they're benefiting from social media. They're like, oh, wow, I like this person. I enjoy spending time with them because of who they are. What is most important to you? What are the things that you value? What are your values? What is the things that you enjoy doing? Who are the people you enjoy spending time with? When it comes down to it, what's most important to you will become important to those that follow you, will become important to those that like you, will become important to those that comment on what you do. What do you want people to remember about you? What you share is about you basically creating an aura, a persona, someone is like, I like this person, based upon whatever it might be. I mean, I love I have a bunch of, I posted a picture of my dog recently, had posted a post about him, and all these folks commented on, because he's real cute. Oscar's adorable. Everybody loves him. So, so as a result, people were like commenting and talking, and we're like, sharing stuff about it. And because of the fact that that's a part of who I am. So I want you to choose 3 areas of focus. It doesn't mean that you don't post other things outside of that, but there should be 3 things that you focus on, that you're able to let people kind of think about what it is that your brand has as its priorities. And if you haven't thought through and decided what your 3 things of focus are, you need to understand how vitally important it is to focus. Focus is everything. See, if I like what I see, then I want to be around you. I want to see what you do. I will continue to like things. I will comment on things. I will communicate. I will continue to engage with you based upon what I see. And so what you're looking for in social media, you're looking for people that are like you, like-minded, similar interest. And so that's why it's so important that you find the areas of focus to help people to recognize, oh, I want to connect with that person. I enjoy being around that person. They post things that that relate to me, or that I can feel like I have in common with them. And the next thing you want to do is you want to stand out. Now, the standout concept is the part that a lot of people are like, well, I don't understand. Don't I want to be kind of conform and be like everybody else? No, you don't. Actually, what you want to do is, you want to be uniquely you. All of us are unique. We're all different. The truth of the matter is that that's what makes us special. Each of us have our own personality types, our own little quirky things that we enjoy doing. So it's important that you are uniquely who you are, and that's okay. Who you are is why people will want to connect with you. And those that don't want to connect with you, that's okay. They will find other people they want to connect with. You're looking for people that are like-minded, that enjoy you, that enjoy who you are. You don't want to be someone that you're not. People enjoy authenticity. In social media, in the social media around the world, that is vitally important. Folks really enjoy and appreciate those that are authentic. So share your life. Share what's going on in your life, what's important to you in your life, the good and the bad at times, not negativities particularly, but even when you have things that you're struggling with, you're having difficulty or whatever, people again enjoy authenticity. They enjoy the fact that maybe you just lost a loved one, and that you've opened your life to them, and you're sharing, and you've invited them to be a part of that with you, so they can mourn with you, so they can support you, so they can care for you and love on you. They love the fact that you're riding your bike and you fell off the bike and you got injured, and you shared how much it hurt and how difficult that was. And you were like, I was trying to get this accomplished. But again, it's about the fact that you are being real. Not, oh, everything is good, it's always great, things are fantastic. That is fake. People don't appreciate that. Being different is okay. If you like to crochet, then share that you like to crochet. If your favorite hobby is to take care of chickens in your backyard, then share that, whatever it is, right? Everybody has their own quirky things that they enjoy doing. Whatever it is, it's okay to be different. Whatever it is that's unique about who you are, share. People value that. And you'll also attract others that have similar interests. See, The concept of building a business is understanding that you will surround yourself with like-minded individuals that can relate to you. And as a result of relating to you and having certain things in common, they would love to do business with you because you remind them of themselves. And like, well, you know what? I could do business with this person. I could be their customer. People do business with those that they trust, they like, and they actually enjoy being around. And the fact that you're different, folks will oftentimes enjoy that. Find something that you enjoy, that you can consistently be able to share it, and that's quirky. I love this because people oftentimes think that the quirky and fun stuff really isn't appropriate for social media. I've got to have this clean cut and pristine whatever. No, if it's quirky and fun, people enjoy that. Silly stuff is all right. It's who you are. Be okay with you being you. And as a result, you'll attract others that enjoy that. And they'll be there. The fact of the matter is that people, whether you realize it or not, they're okay with the fact that we're different. And that's an important concept. So don't be afraid to stand out. Now, pick your poison. The fact of the matter is that there's a ton of platforms. And the truth of the matter is that you're not going to have time to be able to build on every platform effectively. Otherwise, you would literally be building on social media every single day, all day, 24 hours a day, right? So start somewhere. Build an effective following somewhere. And if I was going to give you somewhere to start, I would probably recommend you start with Facebook. Begin there. It's the largest platform, has the most active folks that are there. And then number 2 would then be Instagram. Number 3 would be YouTube. I have it in that order, right? Those are the top 3 ones that I would have you begin with. But start with one. Build that first one and be intentional about it. And be focused on it, be consistent with it. Once you've created consistency, then you can expand and add others. I'm not a master of any of these, but I found that I'm going to focus my efforts, put the time, effort, and energy in for me to be able to build and really have an effective following on Facebook and Instagram, and then also build my YouTube channel as well. What you're focused on doing here is being able to offer things and begin to build. So I have over 5,000 folks that are friends on Facebook. So I really got to the point where I was able to get a good following in regards to Facebook. And then to the point that I now have to sometimes delete people, let others join and be a part of it. I've maxed that out. So now my next goal is to get 10,000 followers on Instagram, right? But while I'm doing that, I'm also focused on now getting a massive following on my business page on Facebook, because there's no limit to how many you can have on your business page on Facebook. All right. But you want to be intentional. But here's what's interesting. Numbers matter. And this is what I want to make sure everybody grasp about this, because the problem that people don't realize is they're like, well, I have 500 Facebook friends. Well, only a small percentage of those friends are seeing what you post. So you need to have substantial numbers to get exposure and have people see what you do. Vitally important. So you got to master the algorithms, which is what we're going to talk about today. And in addition to mastering the algorithms, you've also got to be very intentional about learning how to be able to get as many people into your followership or your friends group as possible. Because if you don't have a lot of people that can possibly look at your information, the way how the algorithm works, you're just not going to get enough engagement. So you need to at least have over 1,000 friends on Facebook for you to get any kind of real exposure. That sounds crazy, right? But you need at least 1,000 people. So you should be adding new folks on a regular basis. Instagram, again, at least 1,000 to get any real exposure. But here's the interesting factor. On Instagram, once you get to 10,000, they add some added benefits. But here's what's interesting. They also dial back your exposures. So even though you have a ton of people, what's interesting is less people, you still get more people that will see it than you would if you had less people, right? But they don't give you, it goes from presently on Instagram, if you're less than 5 to 10,000 people, you're basically only getting about 10% of the people that are actually visibly seeing what you have, which is important. So which is why it's so important for you to do certain tricks and tips to be able to beat the algorithms. And so same thing with Facebook. It's about 10 to 15% of your folks that actually see what you post. Hence the reason why it's so vitally important that you use some of the ticket tricks we'll talk about today to help you get more exposures and get more visibility. Because just when you first post the thing, separate from the other things we'll talk about as far as what happens and why some posts won't get visibility and others will, What's important to be aware of is the fact that, interestingly enough, only about 10% to 15% of your folks will actually see what you post. So you need to have a large number of people that are paying attention to what you're doing. Hence the reason why you need to focus and pick your poison. Don't be everywhere. Focus on building a decent followership so you're able to then have the exposure. Because if you don't have the exposure, it's just not gonna, it won't matter. It's not gonna benefit you. So let's just do a real quick basic concept that I think everyone needs to know. And that's the basics about what you need to do with your page. So you have, really important, you need to have a profile pic of you. Again, this is social media, not product media, not pet media, all right? Social media, this is you. People are connecting with you. You need a good photo of yourself where people can see you, not in a group of people where they're trying to decide, well, who is this? No, they need to see your picture, a good headshot of yourself that looks good, that you actually, have that good side of the face, right? Or that, or a good smile, not when you're looking mad or angry at life or whatever. You don't need to look like you're hardcore, whatever. You want to actually be you, and people need to be able to see you and have a nice, good pic that they can see and have a clear indication of who you are, so they can see it, shoulders above or a torso above photo that folks can easily see who you are. Then you need to have a good background image. Now, often folks have a background image, you can't really see the background image. You can just kind of see what it is. You have to click on it to see what it is, right? Make it a good background image that, number one, complements who you are and your personality. But people can see, based upon when your profile pic is against that, when people go on your page, they can see the background pic effectively based upon whatever you're trying to share. So if you want to have an inspirational quote or a photo of you doing something or whatever it might be, make sure to pick that people can see the photo and see the image of you as your background pic. So it's a good image that works well and complements who you are. It's very important that you, again, the background pic that you use speaks to who you are, your personality, and represents, and that doesn't have to be you. It can be other things in your life that's important to you. That's totally fine. Your bio needs to say about who you are. When people see the bio, they need to know who you are. So remember those three things we talked about as far as the focus? Somehow incorporate those three things into your bio. Interestingly, on Instagram, with your bio and even your name, if you want people to search and find you, it's good. If let's say you put your name, you could put, CBD expert Cecil Caliste. You could do that if you want to in your name or in the part of the bio, so people can find that when they search that on Instagram to find people that are like-minded, they'll be able to find that information. So you want to have information that's there that speaks to what you are and what you're doing and what you want to attract, the people that you want to attract to yourself. And on Facebook, it has feature photos. And you want to use those feature photos for folks to be able to see who you are. And then on Instagram, it has like highlights, different things you can use. Images, again, save some images that are there that people can click on. No matter who they are, they can see who you are based upon that information that's there, or that you have that speaks to who you are as well. All right. So you want to make sure the photos and images that people see represent you well. All right. Vitally important, very important for you to share information that people can get and say, oh, shoot, that's cool. I like that. This person's married, or this person has a pet, or this person, whatever it might be, they can see that information quickly without having to search all the way through your timeline to find and figure out who you are, because every time you post something, whatever you posted before gets pushed further down, further down, further down. So even though you had a really great post, if you post a bunch of things that aren't really representative of who you are for a couple of days because of whatever's going on, that a person just sees those things as opposed to the feature photos or whatever that speaks to who you are, so people can relate to that. Now, let's talk about what you need to share, because obviously that's the concept. We need to share certain things so people understand what you should share. First of all, you need to share images of you and those you care about. People like to see people. You'll find that images of you will get more likes, more comments. It's just the reality. People like to see you. Right. So I posted an image of myself trying to, give myself my little haircut. I mean, I did all right. I'm trying to do it. I'd love to be able to go to the barbershop like I used to. I used to love going to barbershop consistently, but I got to cut my own hair now, right? Because I'm not dealing with this crazy COVID thing, right? So I posted an image of myself and asked folks kind of give me their feedback on the cut. And people, I got a lot of response to that, a lot of interaction in regards to it. All right. So you're going to posting pictures about you and those you care about. People like to see people. They like to see things like that. Your pets, your children, your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews, your close friends. People want to see people. They enjoy that. They enjoy images of people. Very important. You want to make sure you are integrating a decent amount of images of people into what you're doing. If you ever get to the point where you're just posting quotes and other things and other images, you will find that you don't get as much visibility as if you post images of people. Just is what it is. The algorithm likes images of people. It's just a reality. So you want to post images of yourself and those other folks that are on there. Now, here's the other part of it. If you post images of other friends that are on Facebook, here's what's cool. Even if you don't even tag them in the photo, what's interesting about the algorithm is that it naturally will go straight to the face of that person. If it already has them in the system, it will automatically send them, hey, I think you've been tagged in a photo. You're in a photo. And then here's the cool part. They can tag themselves, and then now there's more visibility. More people will see it. If you tag them in it, again, more people will see it. So posting pictures of other people actually works to your benefit as far as the algorithm, especially if it's people that are already on social media, or already on Facebook, or already on whatever platform. The system knows that there's a photo of somebody that's already there, and the system actually will add more visibility, and more likely that person will see the post because of the fact that their image is there. Then, of course, inspirational images and quotes. You want to do things that inspire people, that help folks to think positive things. You find great quotes and inspiration to share with folks, because people enjoy that. They love to feel good, right? And so if you are a positive person and you say positive things, people love that, and they want to they'll comment and say things about it. But it's interesting. What you'll find about the algorithm is that if your inspirational quotes and images do not get a lot of activity, or people don't comment on it, or whatever it might be, you won't get as much visibility. The algorithm will pay attention to how much people pay attention to what it is. If folks scroll by that and don't even comment or like it or whatever, they'll automatically dial back the visibility of that. You need to look at what it is that people are most responsive to that you post on your page, and post that most consistently. And then the content of those that you respect and enjoy. So your friends, share their posts. I know it sounds crazy, but you need to understand the importance of sharing other people's posts. Other people that you respect. If you have other people that you follow, other leaders or other folks that are doing big things, share their content as well. It actually helps you. It helps the algorithm. You will get better visibility when you share other people's posts. Facebook and Instagram and these other social media platforms like for you to share other people's content. They love it. It means you're interacting. And so it's really important for you to be able to share that and provide that information. And then last but not least, product and opportunity information. So here's what I want you to understand. You should be posting on average, every 4 posts should be something about the opportunity or your products. So 3 posts about your life, about what's going on with you, inspirational stuff, and then your 4th post should be something about your business. And it depends on how much you're posting daily. Those that are super active and really want to have a lot of activity and visibility, you'll probably post a lot more. But those, everyone's different. And we'll talk more about how often you should post in a moment. But the fact of the matter is that you want to actually make sure that if you're sharing the opportunity, if you're sharing products, it's important, very important, that when you share content, that you share content about your business and your opportunity on average about 1 every 3 or every 4 posts. You don't want to have that to be the only thing that you do. You want to share every 3 or 4 posts for you to be able to go ahead and share information. Now, this is very important. The don'ts, the things to avoid. It's very important. First of all, please avoid negativity. You want to avoid negativity, because negativity actually is something that will actually paint an adverse picture of you. And folks that don't enjoy negativity will stop looking at your stuff. If you're consistently negative or posting things that are negative, folks are gonna shy away from that. They might block you. They might, stop looking at your stuff because you're saying certain things that make them feel uncomfortable. And you need to understand that if you fall in that category, people don't realize it. But once you are categorized and you are blocked a certain amount of times, or too many people remove you, the algorithm is paying attention. And the more people that block you, the more people that remove you as friends, if that happens too frequently or consistently, then the algorithm actually will begin to lower your visibility. Unprofessional content, same concept. Again, if it's very unprofessional and folks like, oh my goodness, what the heck, people, well, again, here's the, everybody is attracted to people for different reasons, right? Whatever your purpose is, you're doing your thing. If your goal is to be a swimsuit model, then you can wear swimsuits all the time because you're attracting people that want to see that, right? But if you're trying to be a professional as far as what you do with your business, you want to do things that attract people in a way that is professional in its content. And this is vitally important. Do not spam. Understand me when I say this to you. Spamming is like it'll set you up. By itself, it will lower your visibility. The algorithm works. If the algorithm sees you sending too many messages to people and people are not responding to the messages you send, no response means that it's spam. And as a result, the algorithm lowers your visibility automatically. So these are all little pieces of the algorithm that oftentimes you don't realize. You send a bunch of messages. You think that it sounds great. You just crafted well. You just send the information out because so many of us have been taught that you just send a bunch of messages and you'll get a few people that respond. And it's true. Based upon numbers, you'll get a few people that respond. But the fact of the matter is that you need to actually engage, not spam people. It's so important. And if you are spamming folks, I promise you, your visibility will be dropped. It will happen. Hands down. So it's important if you're going to send messages out, at least change the name of the person. At least change the name. Because the algorithm is very smart and it'll notice that there's a lot of the same language in what you're posting. But what's important is it's paying attention to whether or not people are doing one of two things. Responding to what you send. And then number two, just as important, is blocking you. If folks block or remove you, again, dial you back. You might get into we'll talk more about, social media jail, all kinds of crazy things will happen. You also don't want to become a walking, talking advertisement. I fell prey to this early on. I mean, everything I posted on my page was about CBD. That's all I talked about all day long, every day. I posted everything in my stories. Everything was about CBD. And then I realized I had to dial it back. Because what happens is if you become an advertisement, social media also pays attention to if people just scroll past what you do. The amount of time that people spend on your post matters. So here's what's interesting. It's like a little tip or trick that I'll say just early on is if you're posting on Instagram, have more than one photo. Why? Because people will scroll through, and because they stayed longer, it'll actually count that as more interaction with your post. If you're posting on Facebook, same thing. Have more than just the photos that they can see right there where they have to open it up and look at the photos and go through. The longer that people spend on your post, the better for you. The algorithm loves that. But if people are simply, every time they see your post, they just go past it, the algorithm will continue to dial back and it pays attention to what people like. It only shares with them what they're paying attention to. And if every time they go past your post, they don't pay attention to it, the algorithm will pull your post out of their feed and they will no longer see your stuff, which is why your visibility drops down. And so that's why you don't want to harass people or bother people, because anytime they remove you, they block you, all that, the algorithm is paying attention and it actually wants to protect its following because it wants people interacting. And so it will protect its following from people that they view as negative, as spammers, as harassing people, unprofessional content, all of that. They will protect them from that. And you want to make sure you're very intentional about that because of that. All right. So be very intentional about what you post, because what you post matters and can make a huge difference in whether or not people are willing to follow what you do. So, but let's talk about what you're focused on doing and why, how to really begin to leverage and take full advantage of what social media does and how to get even better visibility. It's called social media. So you're going to have to be social. This is vitally important. You're going to have to be social. The goal is to connect. And when the algorithms see that you are connecting with people and interacting with people, both you and them interacting with you, visibility shoots up right away. Big factor. So your goal is to connect. You want to connect with people, get to know others with similar interests, like their stuff, interact with them, comment on their stuff, share, message them. Here's what's powerful. As you are interacting, think of it like you're at a party. Every time you go into social media, don't be the wallflower that sits there and just watches, because so many of us will sit there and just kind of scroll through. We don't even like anything, just look through stuff. But if you're a passive user of social media does not want passive users. They want active users. So it actually will minimize your visibility because you're a passive user. So you need to be looking for folks that have similar interests, comment with them, like what they do, share their posts, message them in inbox, because social media wants you to do that. It actually, the way the algorithm works is it wants you to move from interacting on your feed to the point that you're interacting in your messenger, in your inbox. They want that to happen in your direct message. That is vitally important to them. So you actually will get more exposures and more visibility by the fact that you're interacting with people in your inbox. So you've got to be intentional about connecting with folks so that, and getting it to the point where you are now having conversations, because you're not going to have a long conversation on the feed, right? So you talk to start a conversation on the feed, and now you take that off there into message, because that's what social media wants you to do. It wants to create a social environment. So the same way how, I'm talking to somebody initially and we just talking in a group, and then we enjoy talking to each other at a party. So then we sit down and we got just kind of rapping. Now the two of us are just talking about it. Think of it like that. That's the goal. Your goal is to actually get to the point where you're having lengthy conversations that are happening on your platform, literally in your inbox. A ton of conversations. As I've shared with you all, I have so many conversations that are going on my inbox right now. I can't even keep up with them, right? But but it's just lengthy conversations that you're going to have. Where you're going to interact with folks and talk to them, but that's what you're doing, building those interactions and connections, and that boosts and builds your visibility, and it's huge. It's a vitally important part of the puzzle. Huge, massive opportunity. So let's talk about the content, and let's talk about what you need to do for you to be able to really to understand this. I want to make sure you understand this. Content is king, and social media wants you to be consistent. Repeat that again. All social media platforms want you to be consistent. So here's what's important for you to wrap your mind around. You need to be consistent, whatever that looks like. If all you do every day is post one story and one post a day, then great. Be consistent with that. Consistent. If what you can do is 2 a day or whatever, great. But you need to be consistent. Here's what I recommend that you do. This is again for beginners. Those that are more advanced, you can post more, because posting more works to your benefit. But this is what I recommend. And let me make sure I'm clear. You're going to post 3 posts a day as far as on your stories and your and this is Facebook, this is Instagram, this is WhatsApp. 3 posts a day as far as stories, your story that they have. And for those that don't know what the story is the image is at the top of the screen that you post an image. Now, here's why the stories are important. Unlike the other, your timeline, people will see stories of folks easier and if it catches their attention, they'll click on it and watch it. But here's the other part of it. You are somewhere in the storyline of others. So somebody may like someone else's story and then accidentally happen upon your story, because the system that oftentimes when you try to click it out, it intentionally is set so that when you try to stop it, it'll automatically still take you to the next 1 or 2 stories. Have you ever noticed that? When you try to click off the X to get out the story, it still takes you to like 1 or 2 more stories before it takes you out. It does that. The system, it is intentional to get you to see a couple more stories before you leave the story section. And so someone will probably more than likely happen upon your stories, hence the reason why you want to make sure you have stories that are there. But you also want to make sure you don't post all your stories at the same time. Post them at different points. Because every time you post a new story up, it pops up to the front of other people's timeline. And as a result, they see that new story, the new image that you posted up. So you want to post different stories at different times. So if you're going to post 3 stories a day, post it 3 different times: morning, noon, night. 3 of the most popular times that social media is hot. So just post it 3 different times and do that. That's going to really help you. And then at least 2 timeline posts a day. If you can post 2 timeline, again, this is my recommendation. You don't have to. This is my 3-2-1 example that I recommend. It's a simple system, but you 2 timeline posts a day. If you can be consistent with those 2 timeline posts, again, as we talked about it, your goal is every 3 to 4 posts to share about your business. Don't make it all about business. Make it about so people enjoy what they're looking at and they want to see what you post. That's important. So at least 2 timeline posts a day. And then last but not least, 1 video a week, at least 1 video a week. Get on there, Facebook Live, Instagram Live. Listen, they love that you're doing that. And you'll get, again, here's what I want you to understand. Your timeline visibility will always be different from your video visibility and your story visibility. Both of these two, the visibility is different. And that's why you use all 3 formats. you will get more visibility as a video, because here's the concept. What social media wants to do is they want to compete with other video content that things that are out there. They want to compete with YouTube. They want to compete with television. They want to compete with all the other folks. And video content helps them to do that. So they want to help. They're going to actually bring more visibility to video content because of the fact that they're focused on trying to build their video following. It's the reason why you look at Instagram, they don't have reels and all these different things that they're doing now, because they're trying to build up their video content to help, because people, the video viewing content right now is huge. People view videos. It's a big factor. So they realize that now, and as a result, they're focused on getting as much attention to that as possible. Remember, the algorithm is always watching. And so you want to be intentional, because the algorithm looks at how consistent you are. The algorithm looks at how much you are interacting with other folks and how consistent you are about what you're doing with them. The algorithm is paying attention to, what you post in your feed and what you post in your story and what you post as far as videos. But you can help to beat the algorithm by posting more stories and videos. And that's one of the ways to be able to get more visibility. And then you need to find ways to message people daily. Again, the algorithm pays attention to that as well. It wants you to be messaging people and having conversations. It pays attention to that. And one of the things to pay attention to when you're messaging people, both on the message inbox as well as if you're making a comment, is that it pays attention to making sure it's 4 words or more. Remember that. Every time you comment, it needs to be 4 words or more on your own comments when you're responding to somebody else, or on the comments of other people, because it views that as not just a quick thank you or whatever, but actually an interaction and engagement, and it actually gives more visibility, actually boosts you higher on the algorithm by doing that. So here's some resources that you can leverage to use to help you to be able to create content. Because a lot of folks are struggling to find content. And I encourage you, please, if content is, begin with Google. Like I tell people all the time, listen, go to Google. All you got to do is Google whatever it is that you're looking for. There'll be images, there'll be all types of stuff. Trust and believe, use and leverage Google. You can get everything you want for Google. You can Google popular content, social media content. You can Google inspirational quotes on a topic. You can Google whatever it might be. And because of Canva, which is a phenomenal app that you can use, you can customize that by adding in your own little social media tag on that image. So get the image, download the image, save and download the image onto your mobile device, put it into Canva, add your little social media tag, and now it's your custom content, right? So you want to leverage and use that. I'd encourage you to get a content calendar, because you can get content calendars for those of you that are, those of us that are in the network marketing industry. If you go to, Eric Worre did a great challenge recently. It was called the 7-day GoPro recruiting challenge, or something like that. I forget what it was, something like that. But if you search that group on GoPro 7-day challenge, I think it is in Facebook. If you find that group, in the group, he actually has documents in there. And one of the documents that he has is a content calendar you get for free. Because a lot of folks want to buy content calendars. If you go into that GoPro group, you can actually find literally content calendars, a free content calendar that you can download and now use, that he gave away because of that challenge. Phenomenal tool to help you figure out what to post and when to post it. Excellent tool. And then for a lot of people, they're like, well, I'm so busy, I don't have time to post at the most popular times. Hootsuite is a phenomenal tool. And there's other ones like it. I just mentioned them because they are one that I've used that I've had a lot of success with. But you're able to post on multiple platforms using Hootsuite. Really excellent tool to leverage, where you could be late at night, schedule your stuff to be posted at certain times, and Hootsuite will post it for you on all your platforms, across the platforms, to help save you time. Because you're busy, you have a lot going on. If you can leverage and use these different tools, it's a great way to help you to be able to use it as a posting tool. And again, create your own custom content. Find stuff, edit it, use Canva to make it. There's other leaders that are out there that are in the industry that you can follow. You're more than welcome to follow me on. Again, like I said, you can on my Instagram. My Instagram page is try CBD the number 2 day. That's my Instagram page. You can follow try CBD the number 2 day, or my name Cecil Caliste. You can find me on Facebook and on Instagram, using that name as well to find me, and then also on YouTube as well. But you can just feel free to rip off and duplicate. I encourage you, look at the content that I've been posting. Feel free to share that content, because I've had a lot of folks that have followed it and already looked at it. So oftentimes, if you can, the ones that you see that I've posted that have got a lot of interaction and comments, then you can share the same content and you'll get similar kind of communication as well. Leverage and use that. Rip off and duplicate. I encourage you to do that. It's so important. Myself and other leaders that are out there, leverage what we're doing to help you to be able to have success. And again, I'm going to repeat this again. Post consistently. You've got to be consistent in your post. Again, that consistency is very important. Finding ways to post consistently will work to your benefit. And again, don't feel like you have to figure it all yourself. Everything that you need to know and find is on Google by itself. If you just use Google, you would find everything you need to know. Everything, all the different kind of, great posts or interactive posts, or search, posts that have great questions, posts that have great polls, or all these are great things that you can just Google and it'll come up, and you'll use images, download the image, repost it, you're good to go, and it'll give you all that you need for you to have success. Now, let's go into some advanced tips and tricks that I think are going to be huge. And these advanced tips and tricks are things that are a little bit now, we talked about the basics. You have the basic understanding and concepts. Now you understand how some basic things that help with the algorithms. But now let's talk about some things that I view are a little bit more advanced that can help you out as well. So let's start off with social media hacks. I'll give you a few hacks that I think are really helpful. So the first thing is this: respond to comments. So here's the trick. You post a post, give it 30 minutes. The algorithm basically gives it about 30 minutes of natural, organic exposures. So that means it'll show up in people's timelines for about 30 minutes after you've posted it. So if within 30 minutes you haven't really had much responses, then you want to now do, and I'm going to drop right down to this, delayed comment bump. But here's what's interesting. If you want to keep and drag out the interaction initially, respond to comments right away. So as soon as people start commenting on your post, to drag it out past that 30 minutes, just go ahead and respond right away. Respond to the first few people that respond, and it'll get people more visibility. So every time there's a response or a comment on your post, including your own. So let's say you post something and no one responds to it. Post your own comment. It's a little trick that people don't think about. You can comment yourself on your own post and it will get more visibility. Post things that garner longer responses. Again, that 4 or more word response is what you're looking for. So you want to be able to get people that are saying more than just, "This is awesome, that's great." You want to get 4 or more responses, more than just congratulations, right? You want to get more responses and more things so people are actually responding and actually engaging and interacting. That's the concept. Now let's go to that delayed comment bump. So let's say 30 minutes has gone by. An hour has gone by. A day has gone by. Go back to the comments on your posts and reply and respond again. So here's the cool part. When you reply again to the comments later on, you get this delayed comment bump where you are bumped back up into people's feeds, and now more eyes will see what you posted based upon there being interaction on your post. So social media is looking for people to interact, and when they're like interacting, they're like, "Oh, there's some interaction happening here. Let's bring it back up to the forefront so other people can see it, so other people can interact with it." So you'll get more visibility every time you do it. I totally stumbled upon this. I only recently learned what it's called. But you can keep on responding to it, coming back. And I've had posts that I've had interactions and engagement on for days and even weeks by responding a little bit and choosing. I encourage you to choose when you do the delayed comment bump. Choose the times that more people tend to be on social media. Don't respond to it at 11 o'clock at night or 12 a.m. because less people will be on social media, so there's less folks that will see it. Do it at 9 o'clock in the morning. Do it at noon. Do it early afternoon or early evening when more people are there. Do your responses then so more eyes will see it. There's more visibility. Now here's the funny trick. Check this out. The last one, engage first, then post. So here's a cool concept. Let's say that you go on to other friends. Let's say you know the people that you want to be able to see a post that you're posting. You go to their page. You comment on some of the things they do. You like what they're doing. You share some of their posts. Engage with them first. Engage with people first. And whoever you engage with, social media says, well, they interacted. Well, they're connected. When you post something after that, social media will assume, since the two of you are interacting and connecting with each other, that they should see what you post. So what you just posted will now show up on their timeline. This is a crazy hack that people don't know. You can literally pick who sees what you post by interacting with them first, engaging with them first, and then posting after that. Social media literally leverages and says, well, now these folks are connecting and communicating, so then let's make sure these are the individuals that see this, because obviously they're connected. And it works. It's a phenomenal concept. So think about it. When you're about to post something, you're like about to post about whatever it might be about CBD, and you got some folks that you know that they've been paying attention to your stories. Because again, look at who you look at, that the eyes that see your stories. Because here's what's interesting to pay attention to. Remember, in your stories, when you post it, you can see who's viewed it. So you know who's viewed the story, right? So pay attention to the people that are looking at what you're posting. All right, this person, all right, make a note of this person. This is a good person. Interact with those. Interact with those individuals. The people that you see that are seeing your stuff, like their posts, comment on stuff, and create more connection with them, because they're visually, they see the stories, but they may not be seeing what you're posting in your timeline. So what you want to do is you want to now get them from just seeing your stories or just watching your videos and move them to now seeing what you post in your timeline. So when you're about to now, you have these people that you're paying attention to that have seen a lot of your posts. A lot of them have viewed and have seen this stuff, and that's why it's important for you to pay attention. Something on a story only lasts for 24 hours. So close to the end of those 24 hours, go back to see all the people that have viewed it. Look, scroll back through. Okay, this person has seen it. Awesome. All right, so I need to keep them in the back of my mind. So then I'm about to post something about CBD, or I'm about to post something about, whatever it might be. And now I know this person has been looking at a lot of my stuff about CBD. So now I'm going to interact with them right before I send a post out. And then I post it. Now they're more likely to see it because I interact with them first. Listen, folks, you have the ability, believe it or not, with the algorithm to pick and choose who you share information with. And most people don't even realize they have the ability to do that. Leverage this. It's a great tool that you can use, which is really powerful. Now, again, it's an additional hack. I want to make sure I'm real clear about this. Be active. So it's crazy. For years, I didn't realize this. Years. I would just post and put content on all the time. And I thought I was active because I was posting. But active in the algorithms world means that you like other people's stuff, that you comment on other people's stuff, and that you share other people's posts. That's what social media views as active. They want an interactive relationship. They don't want you just putting information out, because again, they're not interested in you being like TV or radio. They want an exchange of communication. So it's huge for you to be able to be active. Passive users have less visibility than active users. I tested this out probably about a month or so ago. Went ahead and said, you know what? I didn't know about this active thing, so I was preparing for my training that we had for the convention, and I went ahead and said, well, let me try and play around with this. In a matter of 3 days, I went from having about 5 to 10 people responding and commenting on my stuff to 50, even higher than that. 3 days of me just being interactive, just going through and liking people's stuff, commenting on people's posts. 3 days, just doing it 3 days consistently, immediately popped up in the algorithm. Immediately my visibility dramatically increased. It's crazy. So I want to encourage you, you got to be active. Next, I recommend you create a business page. Now I'm telling you, business page on both Facebook and Instagram. Both of them have their own advantages. In a future video, we'll definitely talk more about that stuff. And I want to encourage you, those of you that are seeing this on YouTube later on, just comment in the bottom if you want to get, there's certain things that you're looking for that I talk about that you want to get more information or want me to elaborate further on that. Make sure you comment on that in the bottom, underneath this. But here's what's important. You create a business page. Now, here's why you create a business page. A business page lets you know how much visibility you're getting. It has analytics that it gives you. So here's what's kind of neat. If you have a business page and your personal page, you create content in your business page and then share it from your business page onto your personal page. And then you can pay attention to see how much visibility you're getting. So that's what I did, because I was like, man, no one's liking or commenting on my stuff. This is crazy. I don't know what's going on. Went on my business page and check this out. I shared to my page. It said seven people saw it. 7. Because the analytics are there. It shows me. Whereas before, I was having on average anywhere from 150 to 300 people would view things that I would post. 7. I've been dialed back that far. Now, part of the reason I've been dialed back was because I just started doing my birthdays posts, and I'll talk more about that in a little bit. I just started doing that. And because I had done my birthday posts and I was sending messages to people on birthday posts, some folks hadn't responded, and so it looked like I was spamming. And so they dialed me all the way back. And so I want you to understand, it's so vitally important. You need to understand that you need to be intentional and have that business page, because the business page will let you see how much visibility you're getting, how many people see stuff. But you can share from the business page also into groups. So when you create the business page, you can share in a group and see how much visibility a group has. So you can tell how many people have seen a post, how many eyes have seen it. But what's awesome about that is that by sharing in groups and other Facebook groups, you need to add join groups and share in those groups, you'll get more visibility for your business page, right? So you want to share in groups. You want to share on your personal page. Doing the business pages are vitally important. I encourage you to create a business page and share content with it as well, so you're able to get some analytics, because otherwise you have no idea who's watching or how much people are seeing what you post and how much of a reach you're actually accomplishing with the post. Then here's an interesting concept. Also, you want to follow the followers. Follow the followers. What do I mean by that? So the people that you are interested in, that are top of the industry you're in, or are big in wherever you are, or have similar interests to you, are big in whatever interest you have. I'm in the CBD space. So the big folks in the CBD space or successful in that space, the people that are following them will have similar interests to what you're offering if you're in the CBD space as well, right? So you want to follow their followers, friend their friends, right? The big people, the ones that have massive, pages. So when you go onto a business page for someone that has thousands of followers, or hundreds of thousands of followers, or hundreds of thousands of friends on Facebook, the Facebook business page, or on Instagram pages, you can follow the people that are following them. And those people will oftentimes follow you when they see your page to see that you have similar content or things they'll be interested in. And that's important. Great way to add and create your followership and add new friends by doing that and connecting with people that you see have similar interests with you, because they're following people that are leaders in your industry that you can actually use as well. Now, when I say those kind of folks, I wouldn't say follow people within the same company, because then you're all going after the same people. Other folks, follow people that are in the industry. Other big, folks that are, because everyone's building their followership in different ways, but you want to do people that are in the industry, big names in the industry that you can follow, that you can actually leverage and use their network and tap into their network as a result. Last but not least, I want you to create posts with elements that draw attention. So you want to ask questions or things that draw people and that cause people to stop and ponder as they're scrolling through. When you say something that really kind of captures their attention. And again, the best way to find these kind of posts is to go on social media, on Google, and search it. Or rip off and duplicate. You see other folks posting certain things, copy their post. Leverage and copy the same post they have. You can use the same post and use it. I have other folks that are in the CBD space that are in other companies, and I'll my phone has the ability for me to capture an image and then, crop it so I can use it. I'll crop the image and then post it later on, or post it in my story or whatever it might be. Or I'll then take that image and I'll customize it so it's mine, and now I'm able to use that information. But create posts that are engaging, that you can see that have elements that will draw people in and cause them to pay attention to it, and that's going to work to your benefit as well. Now, be very careful of this. You need to understand the rules of engagement, because there is such thing as social media jail. And you want to be very careful with social media jail. Social media jail means that if you do certain things, they will literally shut down your account. I've experienced it firsthand. It happens, okay? Literally, they will shut down and block you, prevent you from being able to have access to your account for days sometimes. All right, I remember when I was early on and I was spamming folks, or I was doing too much stuff, and they would shut me down. For example, Instagram will prevent you from being able to like but so many posts, or comment on so many, or follow so many people. You want to be mindful of and know the rules of engagement. Very important. So you can always Google those things. What's too many likes to do for Instagram or for Facebook or whatever it might be? Is it too many? I mean, too many friends to add in a day, or all these different things. There's different things that you can pay attention to make sure you're paying attention and you're not getting focused on. And the company, they don't shut you down. And they'll also, here's the funny thing. What I find now with these platforms is that now they're less likely to block your account. They'll just limit your visibility. They'll just make it so no one sees you. And that's even worse, because you're out there posting content. You're like, man, nobody ever likes my stuff. Nobody. You're like, why is no one paying attention to anything I do? That's because they've now viewed you as a threat to the community, and they've now categorized you as a site that minimal people will see, and just your very close friends or family that actually will go seek your page will see your page. No one will ever see it. You'll never get any likes or whatever. So you want to pay close attention to that. Very important. And then also be careful of sales language. This is very important as well. Sales language actually is huge, because with sales language, what's interesting was they'll actually minimize your visibility too. So I had a post I posted recently, a day or so ago, and I didn't even put real sales language in it. But you'll notice now when you post something they view as sales language, they'll ask you, are you selling something? And whenever they ask you that question, something language you use in that post categorize you as sales. And here's the deal. They want to make money off of you. They prefer for you to pay for anything you're selling. And what does that mean? It means to lower your visibility. Anything that has sales language, deals, special, offer, even the word dollar, right? So I posted a post that said $22 billion industry, right? And because it had dollar in it and it had a dollar sign on the 22 billion, they thought it was an amount, even though I'm not selling it for $22 billion, right? They lowered and minimized my visibility for that post. I had very few people that were ever liked or commented on that post because they thought I was selling something. So any sales language, they will lower and minimize your visibility, and you need to be aware of that. You have to sponsor posts that you want to have that you sell something. They want you to pay for it, and so you want to be very mindful of that. So when you're posting things, be careful about your language. Be mindful, because that will happen. And again, going back, I keep on talking about spam messages. If they spam you, they will send you to jail. If you use a spam person, folks, if anyone blocks or removes you, too many people remove you, they will definitely minimize your visibility. And even after a certain point, they will actually remove your account or remove access to your account. Now, let's talk about this, because I think this is really important. A lot of people don't know this, or this is a high-level philosophy and important focus for how you're able to build and really get substantial and effective means of being able to get engagement and actually building partners. Because those of us that are doing this, you're looking to build partners, right? That's what this is about. It's about partner building. Get the digits. This is so important. I want you to understand something. Your communication and interaction on social media is a means to an end. Your goal is to connect with people, find things in common, find out how you can meet whatever need they have based upon what you offer, whether it's a business opportunity or whether it's a product. And then once you've done that, get their phone number. After you've interacted with them, you got to make sure. So your goal is to create the connections, you're going to do stuff on the timeline, on the pages, on all that stuff, interact with them, get those multiple exposures we talk about, right? Let them see posts via what you post on your timeline, see stuff that you post in your story, the videos you share. They're going to interact with you. They're going to see what you do. Then you're going to start having conversations and interactions in the comments. Take the conversations off of comments into Messenger. Have a conversation with them as you're messaging with them. And then as you build rapport, familiarity, and trust, you'll then ask for the phone number. Get the phone number. It's probably the most important trick that you can do in this business. This is why I tell people, when you're doing this, you're going to use things to build connections. So as you heard me say earlier, I send birthday messages. I encourage you to send birthday messages to people. Everyone that you have that you're connected to. There's a post that comes up in your notification that tells you people's birthdays. Every day I send it, and I send some. On some days I'm sending 100 birthday messages, because I have that many. I have so many people that I'm following that are friends with me on Facebook. So some days there's a ton of people. So I'll sit there and send 100 messages And people say happy birthday to folks, but you say happy birthday, and you then don't just say happy birthday. Make sure your post sounds meaningful, right? So whatever you're sending to them in that post, make sure it's a meaningful message that you're sending to them, so that they're gonna they're gonna say thank you, well, thank you so very much. Your goal is to get them to respond back to you with 4 or more words, right? But thank you's fine. It starts, and then after they've said thank you, you can respond back with something like, "How'd you celebrate?" or "How are you holding up in these crazy times?" or "What's been going on with you? It's good to connect." Begin the dialogue. Use the birthday post as a means of starting a conversation. Your goal is to start conversations, and starting conversations should come from posts that you post. If you post something and someone likes something, take it from the like to Messenger. Someone views one of your stories, take it from them viewing you on your story to Messenger. Someone, comments or whatever it might be, share something, whatever it is. Interaction on social media starts there and moves from there and goes straight into the inbox. And once it's in the inbox, now you're communicating and you want to get a dialogue going. And this is probably one you want to talk about an advanced trick and tip to have. This is probably the most important thing you can, from all we've talked about. All the other things are ways to be able to get the interactions and connect with people. But at the end of the day, the number one thing you need to focus on doing is converting people from those connections and whatever to now contacts, where they're in your phone book, because the interaction you need to have with them needs to have energy, needs to have personality, and needs to be able to be done over the phone. Text messages will never have the same effect, will never have the same reach, will never have, you can't address objections. You can't really answer questions and deal with things when you do it via messenger or by text. You need to be able to have interactions with folks by phone. Your goal is to get to the point where you get to them on the phone, and that's how you're able to really build a team and have success as a result of social media. So folks, I want you to really focus on making your impact. You got to touch and change lives. And that's what you're doing here. Your intentionality is to maximize using social media to help you touch and impact and change lives, leveraging what social media can do. So again, I want to encourage you, please connect with me on Facebook. I'm Cecil Calise. Look me up on Facebook, on Instagram. Try CBD Today with a 2 on Instagram. And then, of course, here on YouTube as well, Cecil Calise. Please, again, like, comment, subscribe. Please, I want to encourage and invite you to do that. Would love to have you support. We're going to continue to post some more stuff. And if you like what you heard today, please, we want to encourage and thank you for doing that. Appreciate you for being on and hearing this. And what I want to do at this point in time is we have a lot of folks that are on today. I want to provide an opportunity for them to get their questions answered. So I just want to make sure I hold this up for a couple more seconds for you to be able to see, to connect with me. Please, when I encourage you to connect with me on these different platforms so you see my content and leverage and use the things that you see me doing as well. And I'm hoping that can help you again. So please subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Try CBD Today with a 2 on Instagram, and then Cecil Calise. You see my name there on Facebook as well. Connect again. If you find that you try to add on Facebook and I'm already at max capacity, just message me. And you can also find me. I also have a business page, which is Vision Link Consulting LLC on Facebook as well. You'll see that on my Facebook page too. All right. So glad you all could be on. Let's now go and let's open it up. Let's get some questions answered. So what I want to ask folks to do is let's get some questions answered. You can go ahead and unmute yourself. I have the first person that has a question is Teresa. Go ahead, TJ. What question can I answer for you?
Okay, I want to know, how do you get to the delayed comment? And then I wanted to know, how would you know? I wrote all these down.
While you're looking for the second question, I answer the first question. So the first question for the delayed comment, when a person comments on your post, okay? So a person comments on your post, then what you're going to do is you're going to comment at a later point in time. So instead of commenting right away, so I'd encourage you to make the first few people that actually comment, reply back, so you're able to keep the engagement going, right? And then what I want you to do after you've done that is give us some time, come back to everyone else that has commented and reply back to them later on. And that's how you get delayed comment bump, where it bumps you up in other people's timelines and feeds, and gives you a chance to be able now to be more visible as a result.
Okay, and then the other question that I had was, how do you know when you are spamming somebody, or when you are like if I post something to somebody, I normally, if it's somebody I want them to see it, I check their name. Is
Right.
that the wrong thing to do? Because I don't want to have the social media pulling my things, because I am sending them to a lot of people. And sometimes when I'm on that Facebook Messenger, I can touch your name, Cecil, and the whole list of everybody that I have will be checked. And I'm like, I didn't check them. I just checked Cecil, you know?
You might have hit select all by accident, number one. And the second thing that you want to pay attention to is, here's when it's okay to share content. It's okay to share content that you think is relevant, that people will enjoy. That's great, but just don't overshare. And share with those you think that those that you believe that you're interacting with, that you believe will actually enjoy what you're sharing. That's what's important. You got to understand that based upon what you're sharing, it needs to be things that are that people will want to have. Because if you're sharing too much, you're sending too much information out that people are not going to be interested in, and they don't respond back, it actually has an adverse impact on your visibility, as opposed to people commenting back or responding back or saying they like it or they appreciate what you share with them. All right.
So should I go back in and delete them then? If I
just move forward. All you can do is what you do now. What you've done before, the algorithm's already calculated it. So now it's just a matter of just moving forward. Just be intentional about moving forward. All right.
Okay. And then when you get a second, I like to learn how to do groups to send to just like a group of like 5. Would that be a good one? Or how many people should you put in a group?
Yeah, I would not create groups. When I talk about groups, I'm talking about, like, if you create a Facebook group, I would not do group messages. Again, it's often viewed and felt as spam. So if I do a message, it's because I'm sending out to a few of my people that I'm real cool with, and I know they will all be fine with it. But every time somebody removes themselves from a group that you've created by sending messages, the algorithm views that in a negative light, and unfortunately treats that as though you're spamming people.
Okay. So from this day forward, I will just be very, very, very careful and intentional, and do one person at a time. And I do always put their name.
Yep. Perfect. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. No problem. All right. So it's hard for me to tell who was next, because a lot of people put their hands up. Let me go to, I think it was Jimmy that was next. Jimmy? Oh, you're muted, Jimmy. There you go.
Thank you for taking my call. My question, I'll be really brief.
You're fine.
So I want to clarify how to properly share another person's post without stepping on toes.
Great question. All right. So here's the concept, right? In my opinion, sharing someone else's post is not the problem. All right, let's be very clear. Sharing someone's post actually benefits them. Okay. The problem is if I am going after what someone else's people that are on their post, if we're in the same company, right? That's an issue. The other problem would be if I am, some people might have issues with you sharing their content if I'm taking that content without doing a little share. So I just copy the content myself and I repost it myself without sharing their content. So if I hit share, it shares from them and it helps them and boosts them. If I just copy their content myself, maybe a picture of it, and then share it myself, some folks have an issue with that. But I don't have a problem with that. Y'all can take my content. I'm happy with you rip off and duplicate. I'm totally fine with that. You don't have to worry about that with me. But some folks might have an issue with that. And so I get that. But so just, the simplest way to do it, honestly, is hit share it, and then put your commentary at the top of it with your own customized website or whatever it might be for you or whatever. But what you'll find, what's interesting is the best thing to do when it comes to sharing content and even links is not to share a link. And the reason for that is that actually social media does not like you sharing links on their platform. Facebook does not want you sharing YouTube videos. They don't, because they don't work, they're not a part of YouTube. They don't want you sharing other. So what's interesting is that when you post in another link in there, you actually will get visibility dialed down again. What they want you to do is they want you to share the information in a message. So you would have to, what you need to do is say, hey, inbox me, reach out to me, touch base with me, and I'll get you some information. They prefer that. They don't like as much for you to give a link. And I posted on there a link about the CDC guidelines for COVID, some stuff, just something like that, and got very little visibility for that post because they don't like you sharing other links on their pages. It's one of the things they'll dial back your visibility. They want to keep people on their platform. That's their focus. They don't want you taking people off of their platform. They want to keep people on their platform. So when you post your own personal website and other things on there, you want to be careful about that. What you want to do is that, here's the crazy part. You can post it in the image. So if it's in the image, you customize and put it on the image, they don't view that as an issue because you're not clicking. They can't, it's not the same thing. They're looking for links that you build into the language. And when there's links that you build into the language, that's when they actually will dial back your visibility. All right. Hopefully that's helpful. All right, let me go. I believe it was Sri was next.
Thank you. And this is a great forum for this. Thank you very much. I'm still interested in sharing because typically what I will do, I will either include in my comments about what I'm sharing appreciation to the person who I am sharing it from, or I will, in some instances, tag the people. So it says that I am with them, which means, that I'm using their name and they're already my friend. Are those things okay to do?
Totally fine. Totally fine. Those are all great. Those are all great. Giving appreciation and recognition to that individual is excellent, especially if you tag them in it. So that way it gets them visibility as well. So tagging people in stuff, as long as they want to be tagged, is great. Don't tag people in stuff that they don't want to be tagged in. It's not, it's not, folks will get frustrated with that. That is a hot mess. Please don't ever do that. So yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. No problem. Thank you so much, Sri. All right, let's go to, I'm not sure if it was Yvonne or Jeanette. So let me go to Jeanette first and then go with Yvonne. Jeanette.
Thank you, Cecil, for taking my call. I appreciate the platform.
No problem.
My question is, I have created a business page. Now, I noticed that when I want to add information, there's a charge.
No, there's only a charge if you are going to sponsor or boost the information.
Yeah, I wanted to boost the information by adding more.
Right. So what they're doing is it's basically, when they call it boost, they're just it's just advertising. You're paying for advertising.
Okay. Okay.
That's
Thank you.
You can share on that. You can share on at any point in time. But when you are sharing content, they will actually dial it back, and they will be very particular. So those of us that are in the CBD space, you'll find that actually, when you try to, they will not let you boost anything or sponsor anything that has CBD in it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. All right, Yvonne.
Okay, thank you so much for taking my question. And I needed this because, I'm like real old school. and I'm really trying to move my age down to, back to when I first got on Facebook, when it was just all about making sure my fish don't die in the aquarium, or, so that's how far back I go. But today, when you spoke about the social media hacks and you said engage first and then post. So I just want to know, should you make a comment outright first on their to engage with them, or go to direct messenger?
Either or in both.
Either or, okay.
So here's what's interesting. What I found is a lot of the people that I've sent birthday messages to that have responded back to me and said thank you, we started a dialogue, a lot more of them are now seeing my posts because we're now engaging.
Okay.
So I've actually dramatically increased my visibility just by sending those birthday messages, and they've been responsive. But then same thing as people that I comment on their posts that they have on their pages, like what they like on. So I'll go in now and as a result, now what I've done is when you say thank you to me for my as a birthday post, I'll go to your page, I'll scroll through your stuff, and I'll like some stuff and comment on a few things. And as a result, now I'll begin to start seeing more of your posts, and you'll become more visible for me to see. And you'll also start seeing more of my stuff as well. So.
Okay, so next question. How much time do you spend or suggest to spend?
Yeah, that's a great question. So let me just say this outright. Anything that's worth doing will always take time. All right. It doesn't matter what it is. And so you have to choose, you prioritize and decide what's important to you. Recognizing that there will always be a price that you pay for things. And so my recommendation is that I'd say probably somewhere in the ballpark of about, let's say, probably about anywhere from an hour to 2 hours a day is what I put into this. So.
And so for beginners like me, so I don't feel like I'm like
30 minutes. 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Okay. All right. Thank you, Cecil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you know what? Someone said this, which is really cool. You can use voice clips to help save time. But let me say this: when you do the voice messages, unfortunately, it doesn't pop up the same. It's not as visible as other things. So they don't see it as easily. So when I was using it as a great way to communicate, if the person is on, then they may see it. But if you do it later and they don't see, it may take them a long time before they see the message there. They don't get the same notification. So be aware of that. You can use that as a way to save time, where you can actually quickly just respond verbally, audibly on both Messenger, on Facebook, and then also Messenger on Instagram. So yeah, it'll help save time.
Thank you.
No problem. All right, let's go to Jackie and then Valerie. Jackie?
Thank you, Cecil.
No problem.
I used your flyer for Dr. Quarter's presentation.
Yep.
Okay, and I posted it. And so this morning when I looked, I had about 18 people that had looked in at that particular flyer, but I have no way of knowing if they attended the session or not, because you couldn't get into the participants portion. So that means I have to follow up on all 18 of those people.
That's what I recommend. Absolutely. You always want to, because you can just reach out and say, hey, were you able to jump on? Just wanted to see if you were able to, and you can always act as though they did. Just say, hey, I'm so glad that you viewed this. Did you enjoy the presentation with Dr. Marilyn Corder last night? And then you're good, and move forward from there.
Okay.
Yep. All right.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
No problem. All right, Valerie.
Yes, thank you, Cecil. Can you hear
No
me?
Yes, I can.
Very basic, the very beginning, because I've been working more on Facebook. At the very beginning, after your post, you have a choice to send it to friends or to the public. I hear you saying friends. Should I focus on friends and do the
Public.
public? Okay.
Everything should be done public. If
Okay.
you are comfortable with being public, you're not comfortable doing social media.
Okay, sounds good.
Everything should be public. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna take one last question because of time. I don't want to make this too long because we're gonna this is being shared on YouTube and I want to give folks a chance to be able to benefit from it. So last question, Veronica.
Thank you. This question is about tagging on posts. How does tagging other people on your post affect their visibility? Are we getting more visibility by tagging someone?
Yes.
Do their friends and family, or do they get to see it,
Yes.
plus your friends? And
It's
so, I'm sorry, go ahead and answer that. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say it's a combination of both. I was gonna say quick. The short answer to that, yes, is a combination of both. So what happens is when you tag somebody in your post, then you and your friends see it, them and their friends see it as well, because their name comes up and those that are close to them will want to see something that has to do with them. It's good if the person's happy that it happens. When someone removes the tag, the algorithm pays attention to it. And if they remove a tag, it actually will dial back your visibility because of that. And future tags that you do will have less visibility as a result, just to protect the possibility that someone is being spammed and is being tagged unwillingly.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Any follow-up to that? Because you were saying something and I kind of jumped in to give a quick answer, but I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, but it's we're time sensitive, so I'm good. I can ask that of you at another time.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But I'm just trying to make sure I get, because these questions when people ask questions here, I think it's so important for us to make sure, because other people are paying attention, they'll probably benefit from it as well. So if you want to finish your thought, I'm happy to give a complete answer to that, because I think others can benefit from it.
Thank you, then. So posting and tagging is best done with permission of the various people that you want to tag, in order to avoid the negative reactions of having your tag removed.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad that I had a feeling you were going that direction, which is why I want to let you finish your thought, because I really think it's important for folks to hear that. And that's absolutely correct. You only want to tag people in things that are relevant to them, that they will want to be a part of, and that they would appreciate. So I have a woman that has said to me, hey, listen, just tag me in your stuff so my friends and folks can see it. I'll support it. I'll comment on it. I got you. She said she's not interested in the business, wasn't interested in doing what we're doing, but she was happy to support, and she believes in CBD. She uses CBD. She said she has a brand that she's happy using, but she's happy to promote what I do. And so because of that, yes, once you have folks that support you yes, definitely. Just, I'd agree 500%. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, because I found that quite useful, using tags of people that are willing in some way to support you in this endeavor. Yes. Okay, thank you.
Yep, and that's a good way to expand your reach as well. So, all right, folks, because of time, I see there's one more hand, but I gotta shut it down because of time. I appreciate each of you for getting on today. Thank you so much for participating and being a part of this. I hope the information was helpful. And for those that are watching this now as a recording and watching it on YouTube, again, I just want to ask you once again, support just by liking, commenting, and then also, if there's other topics that you want to hear, I want to encourage you to please go ahead and put those in the comments. Subscribe to our to my channel so you can hear more things that are like this. And I look forward to having you be a part of this. And we look forward to seeing you and connecting with you and interacting with you on social media as well. All right, folks. God bless. All the best. If you can dream with God, you can achieve it. This is Senior Vice President Cecil Calise. Bye now.